What is up, everybody? Jason Rains, your KC seller with Remax Elite Realtors here, and today we are going to talk about what buyers need to look for during the holiday season. So stick around to find out. All right, you guys, before we get into it, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel if it's not your first time. But if it is your first time, welcome to the channel. I need you to do two things, you guys. Click that subscription button and then click the notification bell so you are notified every time I drop a new video, which is every Tuesday and Saturday, all right? Guys, this channel is all about what it's like to eat, sleep, live, work, play here in the greater Kansas City area. We cover all topics, you guys, everything having to do with real estate, neighborhoods, cities, property tours, business features, market updates, market information, question answers, all that stuff. Anything real estate, Kansas City, we cover here on this channel. So if that is something you are looking for, then you need to follow and subscribe to this channel. All right, so as much as I like making these videos for you guys, I am a licensed realtor in the state of Missouri and the state of Kansas, and I want to be your go-to when buying or selling here in the greater Kansas City area. So I need you to reach out, right? Send me a text, shoot me a call, send me an email, whatever it is, just reach out and know I got your back here in Kansas City. All right, let's get to it. What do buyers need to look for now that it's the holiday season? All right, so what do buyers need to look at or look for, or is there anything specifically that buyers need to look for now that it is the holiday season, right? We're in mid-November here. So holidays are definitely coming up, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all that stuff, right? So not a lot of advice to get here, but a fair amount of advice to give here. And it kind of ranges across multiple different areas, right? So let's first look at, I'll try to go in somewhat order here. Let's look at actually going out and looking at houses, right? So obviously we know that the weather is going to be turning bad. We're going to be getting snow. We're going to be getting ice. It's going to be super cold, right? From a buyer side, while inventory is up compared to this time last year, know that inventory typically decreases a little bit in the wintertime. Typically, okay? We'll have to see what happens this winter with the market shift and interest rates being a little higher, houses sit on the market a little longer, all that, excuse me, all that may affect the level of inventory there is and the number of houses we can go look at, right? But just understand that inventory may be fluctuating a little bit. There might not be as many houses as you were hoping to go see now that the weather's starting to turn, okay? Know that houses look a little different this time of year, right? Just be prepared for that, okay? Decor might be up. Houses may look a little more cluttered because of holiday decor that's not up through the rest of the year, right? You know, if you got a whole house full of furniture and now we're on Christmas trees and Christmas decor, the house is gonna look fuller. So just try to look past that visual aspect of it and try to picture what the house is going to look like without all of that stuff in there, okay? Some people may not have Christmas decor up if they're trying to sell their house, but a lot still will. So just something to keep in mind there once we actually make it inside the property. Now, we go look at the property, we're finding one, we go to submit the offer, and this isn't necessarily pertinent to holiday specific, but it is this year just because of kind of the way the market's been, right? Interest rates do play a factor into what we're buying. So as we find the house, we get through those showings, we go to put our offer in, we have to make sure the house is affordable, right? What we're seeing a lot right now is sellers being more willing to pay closing costs, more willing to come down on the price, more willing to do inspection related items. And we'll circle back to the inspection part here in just a second. But we're also seeing a lot of buyers doing what's called a 2-1 buy down on their mortgage, where let's say, for example, let's say right now today, interest rates were 7%. A 2-1 buy down, the buyer locks in at 5% for the first year of the loan, then it goes up 1%, 6% the second year of the loan, and then the third year loan, it goes back to whatever interest rates were when they got locked in on the day they closed. So in this example, we're using 7%. So instead of 7% the whole time, they're paying 5%, 6%, and then 7%. And the seller actually pays for that, right? The seller, instead of coming down, let's say, for an example, instead of the seller dropping their house $10,000 in price, the seller pays $10,000 for this 2-1 buy down. That money sits in a separate account and is used to pay the difference between the lower interest rate and the higher interest rate. Anytime that interest rates drop and you want to refinance your house, you can refinance your house, lock in whatever the rate is at that point, and then that extra leftover money that was sitting in that account that was going to be used to pay for the lower interest rate over the course of the first years, you can actually, that money is still yours and you can apply it directly to the principal of the loan when you refinance. So just something to keep in mind. I think it's more pertinent this holiday season versus past holiday seasons, just because of the way the market's been shifting a little bit. But once we're under contract, now it's time for inspections, right? There are definitely certain things that we need to look at and keep in mind during inspections in the wintertime versus any other season, right? Obviously, frozen pipes are a big concern. Has the property been vacant for some time? Have they had that thermostat on? What did they have it set at, right? We really need to make sure we're paying attention to that. And while I'm not an inspector, I try to look at these things when we're looking at houses, because, you know, inspections can be $300, $400, $500, $600, depending on the house and what inspections you're getting. And if it's something that I can see and I notice and I tell you, and you're like, well, that's a deal breaker, we're no longer interested in this house, and we can walk away before we're under contract and before you pay for inspections, versus an inspector coming in and finding something, again, not that I would have noticed it, but let's say it's something that I think I should have noticed, or that I typically notice, or that any agent should notice, right? Not necessarily me. And the inspector finds it and you decide to walk away, you still have to pay for that inspection. So you're still up to $300, $400, $500, $600. And I don't know about you guys, I like my $400 or $500, right? So I make sure to look at these things throughout the year, not just wintertime, but especially wintertime. Make sure you're staying informed on what I'm seeing, just due to my experience, and then we can kind of make a game plan as far as, do we submit an offer, do we not submit an offer, what kind of offer do we submit before we ever get to that point, right? Air conditioners, right? Inspectors always test the furnace and the air conditioner in the summertime. Guess what? Wintertime, they can't test the air conditioner. It's so cold outside that they can't get the temperature low enough for the air conditioner to kick on, right? So we have what's called a cold weather waiver addendum, right? A cold weather waiver addendum. Say that 5 times fast, right? And basically what that is the seller is signing that saying, hey, the last time the AC unit was used was this, or approximately this date, and to the best of my knowledge, it was working properly on that date, right? So that's what we use as far as air conditioners during that time. Really, that's other than that, there's not a whole lot to be aware of. I would say just try to plan accordingly. Your showings based on the weather, right? Obviously cold weather's fine, but are we going to look at houses when it's snowing, when there's ice on the ground? Be ready to take your shoes off. You know, if they're covered in snow and they're all wet, sellers aren't going to want you traipsing through their house, tracking all that stuff through their house. Be ready to take your shoes off. Maybe throw an extra towel in the car in case, you know, you get the hardwood floors dirty or something. You can kind of clean up after yourself. What I will say is, If the roads are bad, this is looking at it because I do work with both sellers and buyers. On the buying side, if the roads are really bad, speaking for all real estate professionals, please don't expect your agent to do last minute showings for you if the roads are bad. I understand the house may have just come on the market. You may be really excited to get in there, but let's look at the photos. Let's see if there's a virtual tour of the property, something that can give us a little more in-depth, right? Information on the property before we're going out and seeing it. Are there, like I said, are there the photos, the 3D tour? Let's look at the property as a whole. Is it really the location that you want? Is it that perfect lot you've been looking for? Or you don't want to be next to the highway, and this house is 2 houses across from the highway, and being close to the highway was a non-negotiable item, and now you're right next to the highway, right? Does it really fit everything you've been looking for? And more importantly, does it have those things that you said were deal breakers when we first started looking for a house, right? If they're deal breakers, let's wait until the weather gets nicer. The roads clear up a little bit. And really, at the end of the day, it's just a house. Your safety, my safety, or the other realtor's safety is more important than going out and looking at a house, right? At the end of the day, it's a house, right? We need to get you one, we need to find one, but let's be safe in what we're asking others to do for us, right? Now, if you really want to go see a house, I will find a way to get there and show you the house. So just keep that in mind, but we want to be safe in doing that, right? So I think those are probably the main things for you to look for when looking at, or to consider when thinking about buying a house in the wintertime, right? Do you want to wait until the spring? Do we want to wait and see what those interest rates are going to do in the spring? Again, refinancing is always an option. I know that my number one go-to lender is waiving the cost of refis through like 2025. So if you get a loan with them right now, they are waiving those refi fees as long as you refinance before 2025, right? That gives you over 2 years to refinance, right? All of 23, all of 24 to refinance, and there's no extra costs associated with that, no extra closing costs associated with that when you go to refi. So I would say buy now, you can refinance later. Hopefully the rates come down. If they don't, they're only going up. So you're getting a rate now that you're comfortable with, or it's gonna be higher in the future. That's not good. Or if it's lower in the future, just refinance. You're in an even better situation, right? And just like for sellers, some sellers wait until the spring. A lot of buyers are gonna be sitting tight right now. They don't wanna get out during the holiday season. They don't want that extra stress added of trying to shop for a house, find a house. But think of it this way, you get in a house in the next couple weeks, you could be in before Christmas and experience the first Christmas, this Christmas, in your new home. So that's always a pretty cool thing, right? So just things to keep in mind. Obviously, if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to answer all of your questions with regards to buying, not only in the holiday season, but any time of the year. Or if you have more questions on the selling side, definitely reach out to me. Again, I am a licensed realtor in the state of Missouri and in the state of Kansas, and I got your back when moving to Kansas City. Until the next video, have a great day.